Hey, welcome back to Clay Life Studio. This is the second part of the beginner's opening tutorial. And this time, instead of going thumbnail to thumbnail using my thumbs, I'm going to show you how to use your fingers instead. It seems to me that when I look at professional potters and how they throw, half of us use thumbs primarily, which I do. Half use fingers primarily. And a lot of us too use both depending on the situation. I interchange them depending on the piece. I usually start with thumbs and I frequently switch to fingers if it's a big chunk of clay. Okay, so let's just touch up the centering real quick. I've locked in my elbow, I'm leaning in. And if you haven't seen the centering lesson, I would suggest going back and taking a look at it. This clay is really stiff, but it's going to work beautifully for what we're doing. Okay. Now, to open with my thumbs, I started thumbnail to thumbnail. I found the middle and I began pushing down. But this time, I'm going to bring my chair up, get nice and close, get my wheel speed up a little bit. I'm going to find the middle this time with my middle finger. I'm going to bring my left hand back around to where it sits when I'm doing the coning and the centering. And again, you can go back and look at that video if you'd like. But I'm going to leave it here and I'm going to use this cup, this C that my hand naturally creates, as a support for the other hand. And I'm going to bring my middle finger and rest it right into that crook of my hand. And I'm going to find the middle. Now here, I'm going to make sure that we kind of mess up a little bit. Okay. If you see this little bit of extra play, here's what I want you to do. Drop your chair back down, put your finger in, push down, flatten it out. Bring it back up, flatten. So we just undo the mistake. The worst thing you can do is if you start down, you feel like you're way off, that you continue to go down. Because what will happen is the deeper you go, the worse it's going to get. And then you're going to pull back and you're going to be like, it looks a little off, but I think I'm okay. And you'll start raising and you'll end up with one wall getting a lot higher than the other as you raise, because one side of this opening is thicker than the other because you missed. You've got a thinner side and a thicker side. And it's just going to be a nightmare the rest of the way through. So it's better just to do what I did, get rid of it immediately when you make a mistake. All right, so let's try this again. Bring my hand in, use my finger. I'm going to put a little bit of downward pressure. Find the middle, pull out, add water. Fingers back in, and I've kind of tucked these two fingers over the middle finger just to make a little bit of a smaller entry. And we're going to push down. There we go. And this time I'm going to step is I'm going to roll my fingers in. I'm going to bring my elbows back into my body. Remember, before they were kind of sitting out here. Now they're going to be tight back. I'm going to use that middle finger to peel back towards my midline. And I'm going to slide my other fingers from the left hand over top to give more stability and pull back. Now, if this is uncomfortable or difficult for you, the other thing you could do is simply rotate your hand around to support this hand, but we want to create a triangle between your two elbows and your hands, which in essence, if they're tight to your body, means you've created three sides. Everything is locked together. Why is that an advantage? Because it makes you steady. All right, so I'm pulling back with my fingertips and I'm rolling out gently. If you get funny as you come back, I just want you to give it a little hug. Put a little pressure on the rim. Give it a little hug. There you go. Now you've got something you can work with.